right, y'all, we back on the scene to pull the lesson out. This is Gaming Looks Good, the show where we look at gaming from the lens of diversity, which is race and gender. This is episode 8, and we're looking at Game of Thrones, episode 2 and 3 by Telltale Games. I'm Shareef Jackson, chilling in Milwaukee. Got my shirt here, which is appropriate for Game of Thrones. Got the sword, the shield, the Zelda-themed Game Boy, all that good stuff. So we are going to get it in. Let's jump right into this, y'all. Let's take a look at the first scene, which is involving one of the main characters, Roderick, who is the lord of one of the houses, Ironhath, and he is very, very injured, and he's depending on his sister to walk. So let's check out when he appears with some rogue soldiers and how they treat him.
Well, there must be wine in the cellars.
Degor's locked him up tight, just like his own cunt.
Yeah, so some of the sort of the cursing and stuff kind of really drags you out of it, like saying that they locked up wine like his own cunt. First of all, it doesn't make any sense, and it's supposed to be serious, but it's kind of funny and it makes you laugh, or it's sort of, it just takes you out of the gravity of the situation. And you can tell by the music, by the emotions on people's faces, that this is meant to be a serious scene where you're, depending on your sister to help you get through these angry soldiers. And it just kind of takes you out of it. And that's kind of a recurring theme. So let's go back to the direct quotes that they give about Roderick and his sister.
He has no fuck.
Is that him?
Has to be, doesn't it?
He's hideous.
He's a bloody Had a run-in with Walder
And he's
Frey,
leaning on a
did ya?
girl. I should have buried him with the corpses. Forrester's a real shame about your leg, my
But who
lord.
gives a toss?
Don't let go of your sister now.
Yeah, so obviously they really, kind of made fun of him for depending on his sister to walk. And that's not only a Game of Thrones thing. Like, I feel like if I went into a party or even work or something and I was really injured and I was kind of depending on someone, especially if that someone was a woman, I would get dissed. So this is obviously some Westeros shit that appeals now. And it's also a good, kind of a mind-bending thing where it's literally a female character propping up the male character. And usually in these games, female characters are looked at as props, right? And this is like, in the literal sense, this is exactly what that is. So it kind of works on both sides there. Now let's go to another part of the game where with a group called the Night's Watch, which defends this huge wall from evil, essentially. And let's look at some of the conversations that are had with the Night's Watch.
Had this girl I used to fuck now and again. Face like a queen, tits like a whore.
Once again, the cursing is it's just stupid, and it's silly.
Bragging about all the girls he's fucked. And what diatribe are you here for? Fucking potatoes. Potatoes? You fuck potatoes? What? No!
Okay, so they can do it funny, though. That was a really funny, no, so it's not that cursing is bad. It's just that in a humorous situation like that, it's fine, right? But in those other situations, it just seemed a little ill-placed. But the interesting thing is they are not only interested in women's parts. Let's check out the rest of the Night's Watch dialogue here.
I'm thinking steward for you. You can help Frostfinger wash his cock. If the thing hasn't frozen off.
Fine. Let him freeze his balls off.
So there's a lot of cock and balls talk. So you basically get the sense that the male characters in this game, as of now, very, very kind of brutish, very hard life. Like, as you can see here, like, it's very cold out near the wall because this is like the northern part of like Westeros. And yeah, so far you had, a female character literally propping up a male one at the beginning, plus these guys that are obviously very, very harsh. So you kind of get this weird dynamic of, are all the male characters like this? Are they all talking about, whores and tits and cocks and balls and all that stuff? Who knows? But now we're gonna go into another part of Westeros called King's Landing, and this is where, the royal palace is. It's like nice, warm, and tropical. And let's check out the development of some of the other female characters in the game.
My true name is Sarah Flowers.
You're a bastard?
Yes. I'm fortunate to be where I am. I know that, but to always have to hide.
What of your father? Who is he?
I don't know. My mother died not long after my birth.
Now, I found that very, very interesting because usually in these fantasy things, you don't see a lot of female bastards, right? And you saw the shame on her face and the look in her eyes. This game does a really good job with eyes and conveying that emotion. And the fact that, that she doesn't know where her dad is and her mom died in childbirth. It's just really, really cool to see a woman actually take on that stress and that complexity of like, who am I? Like, I know I'm here in like King's Landing, but I feel like a fraud and like all that stuff. So I really, really like that twist on it because, it's just not something that you see a lot. So that was Sarah Flowers, who was the bastard who was confessing to Lady Mira Forrester, who was related to Roderick, who we saw before. So now we're going to look at another scene with Lady Mira, where she's talking with Tyrion Lannister, who is, a very, very rich, noble person. And we'll see how she stands up to one of the most powerful people in the kingdom.
You do know that's a possibility, don't you?
Then that's a risk I'll have to take.
Epic stare down.
I'll consider the arrangement. Of course, you'd have to do something for me in return. Don't worry. The terms will be fair.
I need more than that.
I'll have an answer for you soon enough.
I love that, right? So like this is one of those powerful guys, and like she's like, I'm willing to risk war for like what I want. And then when he tries to brush her off, like she says, yo, I need more than that, and actually gets him to say, I will give you some details. So again, really, really, really cool to like see, like this woman who looks very unassuming, right? Like she doesn't look like a warrior and she's obviously young, but she's holding her own with Tyrion, and I love that. Again, they do a really good job with the female characters in this game. Now, let's play Spot the Black Folks, y'all. And this is going to be a bit of a long clip, not super long, but just try to spot all the people of color in this clip. Check it out.
Croft owes me a favor.
I'm pretty sure he hates you, actually.
No. He'll help us. I'll make sure of it.
How many did you spot? I spotted 6. But the weird part is you never get a good look at them. They're always closing a door, or they're running away, or they're slightly walking off camera. This game is literally hiding the people of color away from you, and it sucks. Because we're in this area which is called like Yunkai, which is sort of across the narrow sea. So it's on the eastern side of this world, which is known as the exotic world, right? So you heard like the drums and the ethnic music and all that. So I was like, hey, maybe I'll actually get to interact with some people of color. And you don't, but they sure as hell interact with a lot of doors and a lot of window slamming. So I was very, 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 very disappointed by this. Hopefully they can remedy this in some future games, but They could have thrown some characters in there. This is, a new story that sort of branched off from the books and the HBO show, and they already introduced a ton of new characters, so could have been some people of a color. Big fail there. So now let's go back and look at Roderick with the woman that he loves and check out how they convey the emotion in this scene.
So much has changed since we were children. Playing hide and seek in the grove and...
You're so easy to find. You always hid behind the same tree.
Maybe I wanted you to find me.
This game does such a good job conveying it with the crackling of fire in the background, the way that like Roderick's voice kind of breaks a little bit when he's talking about like how she always hides in like the same place, and just look at her eyes. Again, guys, the eyes here are just so awesome. They say enough like without even kind of her having to say I love you, like just the look and that gentle touch that she gave to his hand is great. So I love how they treat relationships in this game. Definitely something that other video games can definitely take a hint from in terms of immersing you in the feelings that these characters are going through. So now let's go from love to murder. All right, so this is Mira, and she is, after facing off with like Tyrion and having Sarah confess to her that she's a bastard, she has to make a decision. Yo, do I stab this dude or do I bounce? Y'all know what I picked. Yeah. So I love the fact that you can choose how you make her act, right? And I always choose the more assertive actions because, to be honest, there's just not a lot of games where you can be a badass as a woman. So I'm a badass. And the thing is, she's not a killer, right? She's a lady of the court. Well, she's serving there under Lady Marjorie, who's the queen at this point. And they really make you kind of feel like, yo, she has to kill someone. Like after you stab him in the back, you actually have to stab him again. And just look at how she reacts to being forced in this situation. I mean, they really do a good job of, like, first of all, showing his death the way that she would see it, making it, not super graphic, but you can hear the blood curdling, like you can hear kind of the life kind of leave him, and like all you hear is like her breathing, and you see her just like looking at this knife, like, I can't believe I just did that. So you really kind of identify with her being forced in that situation and just having to commit murder. So it's really cool to see Mira go through all these different levels. And again, unfortunately, it's something that we don't see with a lot of female characters in games. So speaking of female characters, let's check out Roderick's mother. Now, this is at a funeral for some family members. And you might see where Mira gets her gangster from. Check out her mother here.
If you have to murder every last Whitehill down to the babes in their beds, no matter what, you must do it.
I will kill anyone who stands in my way. I will do whatever it takes.
Remember that. You must be ready.
I love that because, so you've already seen the relationship Roderick had with his sister at the beginning with her propping him up. You saw the relationship of a love that he had earlier, and now you're seeing that mother-son relationship where she is just hyping him up like, yo, you need to start killing people, to avenge this family. And I was wondering, I was like, is she saying it for herself or is she saying it just to hype him up because he's the lord of the house? I think it's a little bit of both. I think as a mother, she knows what he wants to hear. And at the same time, she's like using him as a way to get her anger out to like somebody that can actually do about it, since it's like her place as a mother, and she can't really, act out on these feelings of a pain. So I really love how you see these different generations of women and like how they interact with Roderick and are dope characters in their own right. So now let's check out another badass woman, Beshka, who we saw during the Count a Black Person skit. Let's see her sword skills.
Ponteos en as! Pontesiros en as!
So she's a badass, right? She's like cutting people, and then she actually faces down that dragon. Like, what you want to do? You know what I'm saying? So, she's kind of a bit of a one note character. She's like pretty much just like, I'm a sellsword, and I will fight for you, and I will take out whoever I need to. So at this point in the story, she's not as complex as like Mira or like the other characters, but but I like that though, because you definitely need some one note characters kind of mixed in. Everybody can't be super complex and developed. Now let's go back to Lady Mirror, where she's trying to get some secrets from an informant that's actually posing as like a homeless coal boy in a King's Landing. Let's check out what happens when they get caught talking.
Mira!
My lady.
Really? A tryst in the bushes with that coal boy? Not to say it's wrong, but with all the lords and knights in King's Landing...
Can we just keep it between us? I prefer nobody knows.
We'll keep each other's secrets. That's what friends do.
Very, very interesting there. Obviously, Sarah didn't know what was going on. She thought that it was actually a tryst, that she obviously was doing something sexual with this guy, because anytime a woman and a man are away in this world, has to be a sexual like relationship. And Mira actually plays it off like, yeah, sure, whatever, just like keep it a secret, just like I'm keeping the secret that you're a bastard. And like Sarah's like, that's what friends do, like we ride or die. So you kind of see also this relationship between friends, and again, this is like two women just like keeping each other's secrets and just making sure that they are all working toward the same goal. So you see a lot of different female interactions in this game, and it's really a beautiful thing to see. I think Telltale handled that portion well. Maybe add some black people though. Anyway, so now we're gonna see Mira again get a little gangsta with the coal boy when she's not doing exactly what she needs him to do. So let's check that out.
I don't know, Mira. Is whatever's in there really worth risking my life for? It's not just kings who die stupidly round here.
You don't have a choice. You need to do it.
Or what?
It'd be so easy to blame the death of a missing Lannister guard on a coal boy. Whoever's paying you wouldn't like that much, would they?
You wouldn't.
Epic stare down, like you know I would. So she gets really assertive, and it's like, yo, you gotta do this or else I'm snitching on you. So it really shows Mira's kind of dark side there. And she gets him to do what she wants, actually, but watch the repercussions when she maybe pushes a little too far.
I nearly broke my neck for you. Some tiles on the roof came loose. Almost lost my footing.
Would you stop flapping your mouth? You didn't die. You're fine.
You're unbelievable. All I've done is risk my life to help you. And you threaten me into helping you. No concern for my life. You're not worth it. No one is worth this much trouble. Find your own way out of your mess.
So very interesting, right? Like she's kind of, they're both kind of using each other, but it gets to the point where if you try to be too aggressive, like this dude is like, I'm out, and then you have to actually, you're wondering at this point, like, wow, does this mean I have to solve this puzzle on my own? And like you start to think like, oh well, as a lady, should I have maybe backed off, maybe done a little softer approach. So they really make you think about your actions as this woman, how they affect that interaction with the coal boy, and am I willing to live with the consequences or not? So really, really great storytelling here by Telltale. Now, final final scene, y'all. Really hoping to see some people of color because we're back in the ethnic part of Westeros. Well, I actually in the continent east of Westeros. So let's check it out.
Marine still smells like shit, even outside the walls.
And there we go. So you saw one person of color by the horse, maintaining the horse, maybe a few sprinkled there, but again, y'all, two episodes of this game, actually three because I played the first one as well, and we need some people of color in these games, and there's no excuse for there not to be in a imagined world as big as Westeros. Where there's warm climates and there's cold climates and there's all kind of stuff. No reason not to throw that in there. So yeah, y'all, that is Game of Thrones. Let's end with the outro. Sorry, let's end with the intro music actually. To Game of Thrones because I couldn't really find any clips of glitches or funny things. So let's just rock out to that. Gets me so hyped every time I hear it, y'all. Every time I hear it. And with that, y'all, we are out. Peace.
Back to the lab.